Hi everyone. So in this list, I wanted to bring together all the characters of Danganronpa and figure out who are my top 10 favorite female characters in the entire franchise. For this list, I did try and follow as limited rules as I could, but there were some things that I did have to consider, and I tried to find characters that are not even that are not just my favorites based off of looks, but also personality, their importance to the story overall, and how much they do not annoy me, since female characters in games or TV shows or anime can sometimes annoy me for some reason. I do not know why. But for this list, I really wanted to focus on characters that were in either the anime or the games, but I did actually step back from the visual novels, or the novels, just because I really don't have that much of an access to them, so they are harder to get. Even though I did read some of Zero, I did not want to include characters on this list that I don't really know that well. And I did try to keep it female, so that means, unfortunately, Chihiro, from the first Danganronpa game, does not make this list, even though I would have loved to put him on here. But anyway, let's get right into it. At number 10, I don't know why it's so bright, we have Chisa Yukizome from Danganronpa 3, Despair and Future. She is a anime exclusive character, so she isn't really in any of the games. She serves as the teaching class teacher. I don't know why I said it like that. She serves as the teacher for Class 77 when they were all attending Hope's Peak Academy before they turned into Despairs. The reason why I have her on this list is not only for the fact of how I wanted to try to include a character from every series, but I feel like as a character change, she does a complete 180 when it comes to Despair and Future, since she unfortunately falls into despair, not of her own will though, which I'm happy about, but she is a lovable teacher that wanted the best for her kids, and she was the ultimate housekeeper. But seeing her now express all this happiness to her students, trying to keep them safe, while also being an intelligent character, is actually really good to see, since a lot of characters make dumb mistakes. They do not know what they're doing, or they'll just do the wrong thing, where Chisa does care for everyone's well-being, and she does tend to get suspicious about certain things. Now, when she's in despair, she does everything really well when it comes to being a despair. Keeping her cover, making sure everything is followed correctly. And I haven't seen the anime in a while for Danganronpa 3, but if I remember correctly, she was trying to get everything, like, more in the despair-esque side of things. And I was very heartbroken where she was the first one killed, but of her own will. And it was a harsh and sad goodbye, but I feel like as her, as a character, she was important to move Monokata's own decision on what to do in life, but also her own students. Number 9, Mikan Tsumiki from Danganronpa 2 and Danganronpa 3, Despair. Oh my god. Okay. So, going through this list, it was really hard for me personally to find a female character from Danganronpa 2 that I wanted on this list. I think mainly because of Danganronpa V3, that's the main reason for that one. But in this case, I had such a hard time trying to decide who would be the best fit for me when it came to what am I looking in a character. Well, Mikan, when it comes to the second game, she's the culprit in the third trial, so without her we would not have that, nor would we have the possibility of the characters knowing that there's a whole other side of them, since she got affected by the disease, and she turned back into her true self, which was a despair. And it was such a shock to see that. Not only, her trial's difficult anyway, trying to figure all this out, but it was a thing of, hey, she's a character no one really suspected at first until the trial happened, and then she went batshit crazy. And personally, I like batshit crazy characters because then you can judge them for how crazy they are and to see just how wild they can be. And in her case, she just ended up as a psycho, and I loved that about her. Since I got old with her tripping and being very, very clumsy. I got old of that shtick really, really bad. But I did like her ultimate, and to see her actually go from this meek, small character into something crazy and like psycho, despair-driven character was exciting. And in Danganronpa Despair, I liked seeing her again in that element of her being like the meek self and all like knit and clothes, but to see her actually change into a despair, I feel like the anime really saved this character for me, since we saw her full transformation compared to the other characters where we don't really get to see that. And I think we only really see that transformation with Chisa, but she's not in the game. And also slight Kamida, but I'll talk about him in a whole nother video. Number 8, Mukuro Ikusaba from Danganronpa 1 and Danganronpa 3, Despair. She is in my opinion, a minor character, but at the same time is just as important as every other character. Since in the first game, she is there but in disguise, and we don't really get to know a lot about her. So, in that side of things, I can only judge her off of her being a Despair and Junko's sister, and one that was betrayed. However, when it came to the anime, that's where we really get to see her, and she actually is more adorable, since she is always thinking about wanting to make sure that Junko gets what she wants, and she also, I think, loves how Junko treats her, since she's more of a dog to Junko in a bit. But Junko still cares about her a lot, which would be the reason why she kills her, to gain more despair. So, or the relationship between her and her sister, I feel like they very much bond a lot with each other and they always stick together. In the anime, they were always really together and carrying out the plan to the way that Junko wants it. So Mukuro was a perfect soldier, which was her ultimate. And uh, I feel like there's really nothing else to say about Mukuro other than how she is adorable in her own way, and how she really sees despair. I know it might sound bad, but trust me, I really do appreciate the character. Number 7, Komaru Naegi from Ultimate Despair Girls and not Ultimate, Danganronpa 3 Future. She is the main protagonist of Ultimate Despair Girls, and she is a character that I like for multiple reasons. Since she is really the only other character other than the Despair Sisters where we actually see a family relationship going on. Since she is Naegi's, she's Makoto's younger sister. And she does not have an ultimate. She is just a regular person trying to survive in the world. And even though she does have Toko, who is from the first game, on her side, and who is an ultimate, Komaru holds up her own. She is, in my opinion, a good little sister character, where she cares a lot for her brother, and she can be somewhat whiny and somewhat weak, but she does have that kind of childish element of her wanting to do everything, and also leaning on people for support, which is why the relationship between her and Toko. She, even though I haven't really done Desperables that much, everything that I have seen from her, from clips and her from the anime, she is absolutely a character that I do feel sorry for her in her own situation that she's in, but she is holding for her own and also for Toko's sake. And how she was able to change Toko's mind about relationships with people, I think that's a strong thing for a character to have. And I think a reason why I like her a lot is how she's willing to help people and also fight for what she believes in, even without having a power. Not power, but having an ultimate. If I'm correct, the next one... Yeah. Okay. So, this one was a shocker. For some people, most likely. Number 6. Natsumi Kuzuryu. From Danganronpa 3 Despair. And she is the minor character on this list, where a lot of people may hate her. I love her, and she shows an actual importance to the story overall, because she is the sister of Fuhiko Kuzuryu, and she can be a bastard. She is a bastard. She also does not have an ultimate, unlike her brother, who is the ultimate gangster, or the ultimate mob boss. She wants to be following her brother. She wants to be there by his side, and she's willing to do anything. That's why she's trying to prove that she has an ultimate. However, she is also a bitch, a huge bitch, always picking on people, making fun of people. And she does have a good relationship with Hinata. since they seem to understand each other, and even though she is bitchy, they do actually interact well with each other. And the reason why I say she's important is in the second game with Twilight Syndrome. It's a game that talks about a death of a girl and how a group of friends go to investigate what happened, and it ends up with the murder of another one of their friends. This girl is the original girl that got killed in the game, and also in real life, since that game is actually telling of what actually happened, where she got killed by Mihiru's best friend, who also went to Hope's Peak, but in the reserve course. And without her death, Natsumi, we would not get the strong revenge that Kuzuryu has. We would not get much of the second trial for the second game, so that would never have happened. So the character development of Hiko and Peko would never have happened. So honestly, this all happened because of this character and how her death impacted the story greatly. In the anime, it impacted Peko and Hiko. So even though she is a minor character, I see a huge importance of her, and I'm happy that she was involved in the show generally and in the game, but I wish we had more. Number 5, Toko Fukawa, and I am only talking about Toko. I'm only talking about Toko. I'm not talking about the other one yet. So, she's from the first game, the Ultimate Despair Girls, and Danganronpa 3 Future. She plays a huge importance in every single one, since she is one of the only survivors of the first game, and she's a survivor of Ultimate Despair Girls, which means she is a survivor of the Future arc. So she is huge, and she is not dying anytime soon. She is a meek and frail character who is obsessed with Byakuya. I love Byakuya, so I already relate to this character. I love that her ultimate is her being a writer, since that's something that we can also relate to. And when it came down to it, she was a character that had just the right amount of crazy and also the right amount of weirdness that at times I would feel really sorry for her and how other people would treat her, because she was an outcast. Or she still is. People still treat her like an outcast. But the fact that she has such a harsh reality on life is something that made me get more drawn to her. Now in Ultimate Despair Girls, this does change, where her outlook on life does change because of Komaru, since they end up being best friends, and Toko can finally have someone to rely on, and someone that she depends on, compared to before where she just tried to be more by herself. I think that when it came to trying to figure out what should happen to this character, I was really worried that she would die, but I'm happy that she was able to live. And mainly in that aspect, it would be because of the other character that is next after this, because I couldn't really say Toko without saying Genocider, since they're kind of in the same body, but they are two completely different people. I think the only thing that beats Toko with Genocider is a serial killer, and I like that element in characters where they are a secret serial killer and you don't know, and they are crazy and they are overpowered in their own way. So have Toko and Genocider be together, it's really funny to see them interact. Not with each other, but with everyone else, since they both have a huge crush on Byakuya, and this ends up with them kind of sharing that aspect. However, Genocider is more of love, maybe kind of gonna kill everyone, but she'll only kill cute boys. But I do like Genocider because she has more of a round look on life, whereas with Toko, she just sees more like despair and ugliness and blah 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 blah. Genocider actually knows what life can provide, and she kind of sees it in her own way, where she'll just go off and still work on it, or still communicate with everyone, but she does have her own goals set in life. With Komaru in Ultimate Despair Girls, Genocider does take on a role of helping out Komaru, and it ends up being a good character than a bad evil one, which I'm happy that she's not going to be like a crazy character that will go around and just kill everyone for no fucking reason. She has her own ways of why she kills, who she kills, and I think that's important when it comes to a character, to be able to set everything straight. Plus, I like the overall appearance of Genocider, that it completely changes who Toko is, and I love that. Since we have someone who is very meek and frail to someone who is very, very loud and will actually participate in everything and try and, like, do something about it. So, yeah, I thought that compared to Toko and Genocider, Genocider just has a one-up, but they're, to me, equally both the same. So, next, some of these may be a shocker, some of them may not be, since I have not covered this game yet. Number 3, we have Maki Harukawa from Danganronpa V3. This character, at first, I did not like her, because unlike with Natsumi and Toko, where their bitchiness was entertaining, her bitchiness, in my opinion, was unneeded. Like, she wanted to not be involved in anything, did not care for anything, thought that she should just be left alone, and for, I think, the first 2 trials, or the first 2 chapters overall, I really did not want nothing to do with Maki. I tried to interact with her in the game, and she did not want anything to do with me. So, I gave up, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this character. But, after finding out how she is the ultimate assassin, that's where I really was like, oh, okay, well, she already got one up with a like point. And I ended up wanting to know more. And as we went on and saw her crush for Kaito, her being more of a laid-back and adorable character than her tough shell that she once had, I ended up really liking Maki all the way till the end, and seeing her as not a Kirigiri, because I called Maki the Kirigiri of this game in the beginning, and I do slightly think that she is, with her tough exterior, but I did not want another Kirigiri, because even Kirigiri pissed me off in the entire series. she pissed me off. But, Maki, on the other hand, because of not only her skills as an assassin, but also how much she valued the life of Kaito and Shuichi and everyone else, I honor that a lot, and I appreciate that. So, I thought it was really, really nice to have a character like this, since I don't think there was a character that hit me like Maki did in all the games. Kind of a little bit with Nanami, but Nanami was boring. Slightly. I'm sorry. She was slightly boring to me. But Maki was just a whole one-up, and if there were ever to be an anime, I would love to see how she would be. Number 2, Junko Enoshima. From everything but Ultimate Despair Girls, because I don't think she was in that. But everything else, she made at least an appearance in. I love Junko. I love her to death. Even in her death, I loved her. She is the ultimate despair, ultimate crazy. Oh my god. I love how smart she is. I love how she was able to pull off all of this despair, the end of the world, killing everyone, being in disguise, killing the people closest to her. Also, being able to create Monokuma, who is my favorite bear of all time right now. I think that her intelligence goes through the roof, and I do love seeing how she has such a big impact on the story overall. And also to see her transformation in Danganronpa 3 Despair was really cool, because in that one, we really actually get to see Junko as a regular character than a villain until the second half, where she does become the villain and destroy everything. But to see her just trying to interact and live her life as regularly as she did, I thought it was a good new look on her. And just to see her put all her plans together was really fascinating for me. And she has been my number 1 favorite character for the longest time for Danganronpa. However, if V3 did not come out, then she would still be my number 1. But because it came out, I have to say that the person at number 1 beat her for one specific reason, that no matter how much I try to argue against it, I'm gonna pick her before Junko. Number 1, Kaede Akamatsu from Danganronpa V3. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy Kaede, because as a main character protagonist perspective, she was not whiny like Hinata. Hinata was a fucking whiny asshole. I'm sorry. He was. Unlike Makoto, Kaede was a bit more stronger and more forceful. Makoto was more laid back and kind of more of a wimpy character, but I did not mind that when it came to Makoto. But Kaede, all there, like, hardcore, we're gonna do this. And unlike the other two protagonists, she has an ultimate that is expressed, which is the ultimate pianist. And I'm happy, because the music ultimates haven't really been the main center of attention. So this one made me, woo, okay, yay. Now, her as a character overall, she is very, very sweet, very kind. She's very relatable, except for her killing someone. We're both very relatable to each other of how we interact with everyone else and interact with how we want the world to be. I think, to me, she is like, she could be an inspiration for certain people, like she was with Suichi, where she wants everyone to work together, be friends, and she has a huge impact on Suichi since he does all of this, like solving everything, living for Kaede. She is the reason why he does what he does, and he's the main character. It's not like Fujihiko and Natsumi. It's her affecting the main character as a whole. So, why I picked her over Junko, my favorite despair girl? Well, it's called pairing. Her and pairing her up with Suichi made me love this character more. Her interactions with him, how she will interact with everyone else. Honestly, I think that her bond to everyone, including Suichi, made me love this character more because her death in the end was so sad and just made me realize just how much she was important to the story. Just like how Nanami was important to Hinata, she was important to Suichi, and not only was she a main protagonist, she went out in a style that is very memorable for main characters, since in games, main characters will end up dying and being wiped out at the end. She went out in the beginning. So it was important to me to honor that. And what better way to do it than to make her my number one girl? So yay, I'm very happy about that. So that's it for my top 10 girls in Danganronpa, the entire franchise. So why don't you guys let me know who your favorite character is down in the comments below. And next time, hopefully see who my top 10 males will be. See ya!